So welcome to London, everybody. Welcome to Westminster, the home, the heart of historic London. All of you will have passed our immediate neighbour, the Westminster Great Hall. Many of you may not know that that was the very first location for the first meeting of the United Nations on the 10th of January 1946. And as I look at you and you look at each other, I think you'll all agree that we very much capture that spirit of cooperation and learning as a United Nations of family enrichment. As Steve said, my name is Kemp, and I have the privilege of being the chair of family development in Great Britain. So it is in that capacity that I want to welcome you and thank you for coming to London to be part of this great and amazing event. There are so many people that we are indebted to putting this on, from our incredible lineup of speakers to the board of IFFD, who I am personally incredibly grateful to, who always said yes when I asked for something that was maybe a little bit more expensive, a little bit fancier, so that we have this great show for you today. But most especially, I want to thank each and every one of you. We truly appreciate the efforts of childcare, flights, accommodation, and not to mention those of you who had to deal with UK immigration for visas. A particular thank you to you for doing that. My wife and I became involved with family development, as we call it in Great Britain, 23 years ago, when she was just pregnant with our very first son, Pablo. And at that time in Great Britain, we only did the First Steps course, and it remained that way for the next 15 years. So Maria and I kept on having babies, one after the other, and repeating first steps, first steps, first steps. And we hope we got a little bit better. Our baby certainly seems more contented, or perhaps we were just more relaxed parents. Anyway, something happened. Our babies became teenagers, but not just any teenagers. Teenagers in the brave new world of smartphones, iPads, social media. And to put it in context, when Maria and I had Pablo, we didn't own a mobile phone. We needed help, lots of help. What were we going to do? Thankfully, the clever people at IFFD had seen the future. They had embraced all the new technology that was there. Unknown to us, they had an English technical committee, translating cases and culturally adapting them. We had to be part of that. We needed to relaunch in Great Britain. But more importantly, the Kemp family needed to relaunch. So what did we do? We set up and participated in the first adolescence course in Britain. In doing that, we recruited some of the best moderators that IFFD had: Vicky Tita, Javier Reguard, Luis Carreras, and of course, Marina Robin. You couldn't have a new course without Marina Robin. Marina came to stay in our home in London, and we wanted our children to behave impeccably. Not so that Marina had a great time, oh no, so that we looked like the people who should be running a family organization. And of course, naturally, pride comes before a fall. The children fought, they argued all weekend. The parents, they shouted in front of Marina. Marina, of course, far too gracious to say, to even notice. It culminated in lunch in front of Marina when one of my children said, "You just wanted us to be all goody-goody in front of that family president lady." Which was, of course, exactly what we wanted. Anyway, the story has a happy ending. Several courses later, the great thing about running an organization is you often have to repeat the course. So we did preteens twice, we did adolescents 3 times, and finally we got there. My eldest son, who I always call my trickiest teenager, he's now married. He has a father himself, a baby of 2 months, and he's upstairs, Master of Ceremonies at the first Congress of Personal Project. Okay. But something much better happened. I changed as a father. My relationship with my teenagers changed for the better forever. The Kemp family motto, friends at all costs, it wasn't just coined, it lives in us. And my wife and I will be forever indebted to Family Enrichment and IFFD for the help they've given our families. So I stand in front of you today, not as the organizer of this great Congress or the chair of a charity, but as a participant, first and foremost, of family development. And I'm a very happy customer. So thank you, family. I think from the security outside, you've guessed something's happening in London today. And from the demonstrations, which are probably beginning now, we're hoping it gives us good publicity as they film and get our flags and things in there. Anyway, today, Westminster is sitting for the first time on a Saturday in 40 years. They're hoping to resolve Brexit. And I do apologize for using the B word, and we won't use it again. But I can promise you what we're doing here today is just as important as what they're doing in Westminster. And what I can also promise you, which they I don't think can promise us, is we will have a positive outcome. What is happening here this weekend, I see it in terms of as like a nuclear reactor of energy, enthusiasm, and above all learning, that we'll all go from here tomorrow afternoon, charged up, ready to literally change the world, one family at a time, and better still, across the whole planet, from China to Australia, through Europe, the Americas, everywhere. And for many of you, that might be doing your first family development course, organizing it. For some of you, it might be running your 100th family development course, but better than the one you did last time. And just finally, I wanted to say a word to any of you here who are from a town, a city, a country, where family enrichment has barely started or is struggling to get started. That is very much where we were in Great Britain just a few years ago. We were just 8 willing people around my kitchen table thinking, what do we do? Well, what did we do? We worked, not too much, a little bit. We trained. We trusted wholeheartedly and resolutely in the expert methodology of IFFD. And we had a little bit of faith. And now here we are today in London. You know, look around you. Yesterday, we used the expression, dream and your dreams will fall short. Do it, look at it. And I invite you to dream and your dreams will not fall short in this wonderful and very real family of family enrichment. So it is now my great pleasure to ask my esteemed colleague, Mario Armello, President of IFFD, to open this 20th World Congress of Family Enrichment, Family, the Face of Humanity. Thank you. Mario.
Thank you very much. Welcome here. On behalf of the entire team of IFFD, we welcome you to our 20th Congress, Family, the Face of Humanity. We hope you will have a really good time, enjoy everybody, and get to know each other. 4 years have passed from the last Congress in Mexico, and lots of things have changed. We have worked a lot, and we have tried to grow bigger, to be bigger. We set 4 goals last Congress to try to achieve in these 4 years. The first one was to reach 70 countries and also to grow to 30% more than what we were 4 years ago. So right now, we have already reached the 70 countries. We're now giving courses in Dubai, Tanzania, Cabo Verde, Korea, and also we're going to start in Tunisia this year. So we're right now there, and also we have grown from 23,000 people that were attending our courses in 2015 to 30,000 people right now attending our courses this year. So that's great, a big achievement. The second goal was to reach families in vulnerable situations with less possibilities, both economically and culturally. So what we did was to adapt our cases to different situations that could be more relatable to this economic segment of population. And it has worked very well. People in our countries are very committed to our courses, especially this level of population. They really enjoy and appreciate our method. And also, we have launched a program called Families Without Barriers, where people that attend our courses can share their knowledge and what they are learning with other people that are not so, we have more vulnerable situations. And this has also been working very fine. It's a different way of making the courses. It's just like a reunion between them and to speak about one topic. And it's also a very good initiative that it's growing and having a lot of interesting results. Then we also wanted to improve our communication, external and internal communication. And right now we have launched a program that is going to revolutionize our whole world of working. So we have a big task in front of us. We're getting new technologies to our way of getting to communicate with all our centers in the world, and also the work we will try to achieve our goals in the next years. We're trying to get into design thinking. That's a way of learning more from our customers, from the people that are taking our courses. And we're also adapting to new tools, like Trello, Zoom, Slack, and whatever you think. It's very interesting also. We want to be more horizontal than vertical in our way of managing. And the fourth goal was to increase our presence in the international forums to help and support family all the ways we can. So right now we have a very strong relation with the UN focal point of the family. This is run by Renata Kaczmarska, that we are very proud. We'll have her here, and tomorrow she will talk about the family status in the UN, in the United Nations. And also we have grown in a very good way to have a big relationship with UNICEF also, and their managers. So later, Ignacio Socias will talk more about this topic. But what is the purpose of our Congress? First of all, we want you to meet, to get to know each other, to enjoy this Congress, to have a lot of fun and learn about each other, hear their experiences, the way they solve their problems, the way they look at family in all over the world, and get to know all the coincidences we have. So please have a wonderful time here. Secondly, to form ourselves. We will have lots of information that we will have to digest and ponder when we go back home, but we are sure we will have lots of things to apply in our own families and afterwards to share with each other. We have a panel of first-rate speakers who have agreed to share with us their experiences and their research and their knowledge. So, and also, these speakers have agreed to come to the Congress pro bono because they understood our work is based on volunteerism. So I'm very grateful for them. So thanks very much for our speakers. So then, before ending, I want to honor a very special person, Marina Robben. Ian already talked about her. She is right now our former president of IFFD. She has had a great volunteer career in family enrichment. She directed family enrichment in Belgium. Later, she became General Secretary of IFFD. And finally, she was president of IFFD from 2002 to 2015. So please, Marina, come out to the front so we can all get to know you and give you a big, big applause.
Thank you so much. I do not deserve this, but I just want to share my personal enthusiasm and the experience that it really is worthwhile. We now are grandparents almost, number 22 is coming on. But I really can share the joy of having a well-working family, even if this costs some adaptations, let's say, because, of course, men and women are different. But thanks to the courses, thanks to learning so much about how doing better every day and deepening more in how we can love each other better, it works well, even in the next generations. So thank you so much.
We also want to acknowledge the great effort made by our hosts, Ian and Maria Kemp, who had made possible this Congress with the venue and all sorts of things. So also give them a big applause. And finally, Leticia Rodriguez and Lorena Fernandez, who have worked a lot in all the logistics and everything that needs to be done to make this Congress possible. I don't know if they're here right now. There they are. Lorena. Well, again, a warm welcome and thanks to be here. Right now, I'll give the words to Nora Urrea. She's our President of the United States Family Enrichment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mario, for that introduction. It's a great honor for me to address the Congress this morning. I was hoping that you would set me up a little bit to give them a little bit more context for why I've been invited to speak to you this morning. But before I do that, I want to express my gratitude to IFFD and Mario and Javier, Leticia, for really focusing their energies and their time and effort to grow the family enrichment programs throughout the English-speaking countries, namely Canada, the United States, Australia, and of course the United States and Great Britain. And it's a testament to their commitment by hosting the Congress here in London. Since I became president actually about 13 months ago, I have worked with Javier and Leticia as an effort to grow the programs and seek new talent and explore innovative approaches to addressing our problems in IFFD. And to this end, I was asked to participate in a program that would explore a new approach of how to face our problems. So I was asked to come and share my experiences because this is a new era for IFFD, and there's a lot of potential and a lot of work to do ahead, and so we're exploring new possibilities. So I'd like to share that about 2 months ago, I received an email from Leticia asking me if I could devote some time and energy to a new learning experience. She didn't say much more than that. All she asked is if I could devote 6 weeks of my time, about 5 hours a week, which in fact, Leticia, she really did misrepresent that because it turned out to be 8 or 10 weeks, and we were spending about 10 hours per week on this project. So, but anyway, little did I know that she had asked 10 other people across the globe to participate in this same learning experience. We came from 5 different continents, 8 different time zones, and we were affectionately known as the International E-Council. We came from diverse backgrounds, from various age groups. I, a baby boomer, interacting with millennials in this group. We came from different professional training and had different levels of technological knowledge. Javier and Leticia had chosen us not for our positions in IFFD, but for the experiences that we could share. The challenge they gave us was multifaceted and ambitious. Let me read you the challenge that they posed to our group. With the ultimate goal of making a better society and transmitting the beauty of family life, how can we continue to improve organizational efficiency as well as the relationship and collaborative work between the IFFD headquarters, the vice presidencies, and the National Family Enrichment Centers, so that we can discover the talent of our people and get to know our users better in order to find out what they expect from an institution like IFFD, resulting in a faster and more sustainable growth and evolution, taking advantage of exponential technologies. So that was our challenge. As we considered participating in this challenge, there were a few facts that we kept in mind. We knew that anything involving IFFD would have a worldwide impact on families. We knew that the ultimate goal of this challenge was to improve and transmit the beauty of family life in order to make a better society. And finally, we knew that IFFD was looking for a real change in its organization and to bring innovation. And considering all these facts, we thought it was worthy of our time, and so we jumped right in and committed right away. Although we had the common goal to help IFFD in its mission to transmit the joy of family life, we quickly realized that we had an internal challenge. How can 11 people from across the globe come together to become a team, to work as a team, and to learn new digital technologies all at the same time? Over the last 10 weeks, we have met over 20 times through virtual meetings. Despite the differences in time zones, we found ways to connect from our homes, from our cars, from the cafes, whether we were on vacation or on retreat. I do have to share a story. I was vacationing in Valencia a couple weeks ago, and we had a meeting to conduct. And I had to connect while I was on a tour bus, on a hop on and hop off. And it was pretty amazing because the technology allowed me to not only be on vacation, but also connect with people around the world. So it was beautiful to have that experience. But whatever it was, we were 11 people who were there and committed. We used several digital work tools that made our collaboration easy. Zoom was our video conferencing tool. It really helped us bond as a team, connecting virtually every Tuesday and Thursday morning. And since I'm on the Pacific Standard Time Zone, my connection time was 5 in the morning. So I was really committed to hanging in there. One of my other colleagues on the team was from Hong Kong, so she was the one connecting at 9 p.m. So in between those two time zones, we had different people connecting, and it was quite an experience to do that. But this tool helped us to share quite well. Not only were we able to hear our voices and see ourselves and really bond in this way, but Zoom allowed us to share our screens and record our meetings so those who could not connect that day could always listen to the meeting that they missed. Next, we were introduced to an interactive platform called on Canvas, led by a company called BeForget. And they trained us on the design thinking methodology. Design thinking is a new way of problem solving, which demands that you respect the process, getting to know the user before jumping to a solution. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Things really got started for us and started to come together when we learned to share our documents on Google Drive. I'm sure most of you are familiar with Google Drive, but it was new in the way we were sharing and having us collaborate in a new way. We tracked our work on the project management tool called Trello. Trello, if you haven't heard of that, is a fabulous tool on the website that allows you to work like you would at home with Post-its and putting things on a to-do list, but instead of posting them on your fridge, you post them on this website where the rest of the team can look at it. This tool helped us stay task-oriented and making deadlines visible and keeping deliverables clearly defined and organized. And finally, when we had to connect and talk to each other between meetings, we used the messaging app called Slack. Slack is like having a big what's up chat group where everyone's talking to each other. And while you're able to directly message someone, I personally like Slack because you could connect with a member of the group on the side without anyone else knowing, and you can ask your dumb questions without seeming clueless to the rest of the group. Once we had these digital tools in place, our team could address the challenge that was posed before us. It was ready to get started learning about design thinking methodology. In this methodology, the focus is always the end user, as I mentioned before. The goal is to empathize with the end user and get to understand its needs and its problems. So in this challenge, who was IFFD's user? It was you and me, the national organizers that set up these family enrichment programs throughout the world. And to get to know our users, we interviewed 16 national coordinators throughout the world from 11 different countries, and we posed questions to them. We asked them, what do our users do? What are their behaviors and their habits? What are the objectives? What do they want to achieve? What keeps our users moving and motivated? What are the dreams that they have? What are their expectations? With the results of these questions, we brainstormed ideas We categorized them, and then we came up with a design solution. That's where the term design thinking comes. We designed a solution specific to our end user. We devised a prototype of our solution. We tested it to test its usefulness, and then we presented it to IFFD in a 90-second video that I hope you get to see one day. We're very proud of it. So, at the end of the project, what did we learn? Well, I think we learned 3 things. Number 1, I think we discovered that 11 people across the globe with different backgrounds from different time zones can work together. We can collaborate using new technologies, and that we can produce something that's useful, and it's a viable solution for IFFD. And I think for IFFD, this is huge. I think we proved that the tools and the methodology can help us face new challenges. The design thinking process works, and these technologies can help family enrichment centers throughout the world work together to solve new challenges. For me, it was an incredible experience. Not only did I make friends with 11 amazing people with incredible talent that taught me so much, but it gave me practical tools that I know I will use in the United States with my national board. I will try to put in practice these tools, these digital tools that really help collaborative work and bring it to a new level. So I invite you to be open to this new era of revolution. If you're asked to be part of an expert panel or to incorporate these new methodologies, I say to you, go for it. It works, and IFFD needs you. It needs your talent, it needs your time, and yes, it needs your treasure. We cannot do this without the financial help of all the countries in the world, because this is going to take training and it's going to take effort. So thank you, Leticia, wherever you are, and Javier, wherever you are, for this great opportunity to be part of this exciting phase of IFFD's growth. I'm glad that you share in thinking big, and you can count on the USA team to walk with you in this new era of innovation and technology and transformation. So thank you for listening, and